All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. Like I always say, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Make sure you are open-minded and studying and active in your participation in anything related to crypto. It is a volatile asset. All right, guys. So last week we wowed you with our amazing art gallery for Matt and Co. We didn't dive too deep because we were so wowed by just the concept of a metaverse. But I did get a lot of feedback afterwards, and that was, hey, Alex, can you please just walk us through how you find an NFT, what tools you're using, and when I actually get onto a project, like, what do I do? So we're going to cover that. There are much more specialized videos out there that you could see for each part of the process I'm about to lay out for you, but I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to just give you simple steps that will allow you to get into your first NFT project. And of course, you could always run things by Dante and I, because we have plenty of experience with this market, even though it is changing every day. Let me share my screen. Whoa, first time sharing my screen. I'm going to share. Where's Chrome? There's Chrome. There we go. Yes. Okay, great. All right. So what we're going to do is go through some of my favorite tools. And again, if this sounds redundant to some of the other videos that I've shared, that's because it works. Okay. And you're going to see a lot of other crypto YouTubers giving very similar advice, offering similar tools. And this one is no exception. This is Twitter. In Twitter, you are going to find so many influencers. All right. I start here. I don't start with all the fancy tools I'm going to show you. I start right here in Twitter, and I have my lists of people to follow. But really, in a very broad and general sense, if you just type in, look at the top, if I just type in NFT, you can actually find people and posts that are actually very relevant to finding new projects. In fact, I typed this in right before I logged into our call today, and look what I'm seeing. Melania Trump is releasing an NFT that will cost 1 Solana each. Like, what? Love her or not, love Trump or not, that's irrelevant. This is alpha right here. I don't think anywhere, I didn't see this in any news article, in any business blog, nothing. I just saw this now right here on Twitter, and I could at some point track this and capitalize it on some way. And it started right here on Twitter. How's about that? So just by being an active participant and being in the Twitterverse, I was able to just find this right here, right now. But this is where you want to be. What is also interesting is the associations that you can make when you're using Twitter. And this is something that I use often. There's a tool here called Watsy. Look at this. And what you can do with Watsy is find out the degree to which a person is following somebody else and finding associations. So for example, I typed in ZSS Becker, Alex Becker, and he is an influencer in the crypto sphere, someone who I look up to, someone who I followed both before he got into crypto, as he was getting into, as he was an internet marketer and business aficionado. I was following his videos, and it's really interesting to see him come up. But who is he following? Right? Who was following him, and who are following his followers? Now, this tool right now is loading very slowly. Even though I hit search, it's being a very bad example for me right now. Unfortunately, it's been giving me problems all day, in fact. But the graphical analysis that it gives you is out of this world. What it will do is show you the influencers who they're following more than others. And I'll give you an idea of who else to follow, what projects. There we go. See, there we go. Fuck me up already. Great. Oh, sorry. But that's there goes that tool. So starting with Twitter, all right. And I'm going to give you a really great example of who else to follow. You should follow Dante and I, because Dante and I actually have a lot of projects that we're following, and we tweet about them, and we get involved in the contests, and we retweet things and tag each other. So that is becoming quickly an ecosystem where people are noticing us and noticing what we're following. So even though it's on a very small scale compared to others, it does happen. It does happen. By being an influencer, you can actually find great projects and become part of them. Okay, let's dive into some tools now. Some other tools. So we looked at Twitter for the social side of things, right? But let's dive into some tools. Look at this one here, rarity.tools. Rarity.tools. I like giving this a glance. And if you click on the upcoming tab here, I think it's already loaded, yeah, /upcoming, you could actually see what's been minted in the last 24 hours and then what's up and coming. So for example, this one here has a pre-sale yesterday, but tomorrow is the public sale. And you can, through the links here, check out their Discord to see if you like the project, to see if you like their team, if they're doxed, all the things that we had spoken about in previous videos. A link to their Twitter, because as we just saw, Twitter is extraordinarily important, and their website. Okay? So you can actually do a lot of research by following new projects that you didn't quite hear about before, but you now can find out about. Of course, I'm looking at what's minting today and yesterday, but you can go forward in time. And I'll tell you this much, ready for this? There is no shortage of projects, right? No shortage of projects. And I just did all of that. And I'm only like, what, 5 days from now from filming this, right? So, I mean, there are no shortage of projects. Like, it's a lot. So the question goes back to, how do we evaluate? And that's why in my previous videos, I gave that so much weight. I gave it so much weight. What makes a great project? What makes it exciting? What gives it utility? You know, all that stuff. That's why I spoke about those things first, because you're going to dive into this and your brain's just going to go, it's going to explode. You're not going to know which one to get into. You see, here's another good one here, nftcatcher.io. You go to their drops, and it's kind of the same function, right? They give you a list of what's up and coming. They even give you a nice category here, gaming, charity, avatar, right? They give you links to visit their drop calendar, right? And yeah, you can discover more. You can click on them, and it'll give you more information. You can add to your calendar if you want to mint that, obviously. Okay. And then if you're looking at the Solana blockchain ones, this one's extremely popular, howrare.is, howrare.is. And if you click on the upcoming drops like this, you will see, well, what is up and coming. Okay? And you can see how many they're going to mint. And again, if you click into one, you'll get into more details about that project. But again, look at the time. This is today. This is today. This is just today. These are all the mints happening, right? This is happening in 28 minutes. This is happening in 3 hours. Okay, then we get into tomorrow. You see how insane this is? There's no shortage of projects. So the onus is on you to do that research and find out which ones they are. Now, of course, if you haven't heard of these projects by today, right? By the day that we're filming this, and you haven't been, it's on Twitter and you can't find them, chances are it's not getting the hype around it, which means it's a very difficult project to flip. Okay. You may still think long-term, perhaps do your research on the team, what they're going to do, get into their Discords, communicate with them, all the stuff we talked about. We're not going to go over that again, but just to give you an idea, there are no shortage of them. Now, if you want to get into more advanced tools, here's another one that I like to use. It's called ic.tools. And you could go into like their top one here without even paying for the free, like without even paying for the premium. And you could actually get some really good information on what collections are doing the best right now. Okay. And you can dive into the statistics of them, like what their floor price is. Holy smokes. Anyone got 47 Ethereum for a Bored Ape? Right. So their volume, and you can track that over time. Okay. So you can do all just like your crypto tokens, you can track the NFTs through these tools. I like to go into the, where is it? The Discover in this one here. Now, as you can see, for the premium, they'll unblock the 15-minute and 30-minute time sets. I think, what is that? TradingView does that as well. Very similar. But for now, just looking on the 1 hour is perfectly fine. You know, you can look at this and see what's minting today, at least in the last hour. Right? Pretty cool. And you can get a lot of information because you could actually stumble upon something that may have some space for minting and go from there. And again, you can dive into the tools and see how that goes. I give it a glance. I don't give it much more than that, because if I haven't heard of it already through Twitter and Discord, then I probably won't give it another look. I'll only look at this if I want to really dive into a project that I already have in mind. Okay. Now, if you really are someone who wants to dive into the tools to another level, you go to Nansen. The thing with Nansen, of course, is their plans can get kind of pricey, right? You know, you can get up in this price right now. I mean, anyone got $7,500 quarterly to throw in to get to their tiny spark? I was actually getting on a wait list for that. Interesting. And these tools, of course, will give you more granular experiences. And I actually can give you more training on this specific tool if you want it. And I can help you with that as well. But for now, just understand that this is for people who want to watch the immediate minutes after a drop happens and whether or not they should make a decision to purchase or not purchase. Okay, so these are some of the tools that I like to use. The other one that I like to use is, of course, Discord. Discord, and we're going to get into Discord right now. Just trying to share. Here we go. Share my Discord. Boom. Can you guys see my Discord here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, good. So here's another place where you can get what we call alpha, or get good knowledge, right? So this is NanoPass. I actually minted this last night, and I really love their community. A good community will look like this. They'll have a lot of different categories that are active. If you look, for example, at this Alpha Talks that I'm on right now, Alpha Talks is given exactly what we're saying now. Projects, what's minting, what's good, did it sell out? You can get into the community, start asking questions. And if it's a good one, you'll know that within minutes, somebody will be answering your question or somebody will help you out. And this is a fantastic way to get into projects that you may never have heard of, or tools that you may not have heard of as well, like Nansen and so on. So this is really important because I find that it kind of gauges the seriousness of a community. So that is a really good example here. In fact, NanoPass I have 3 channels for NanoPass. One of them is a team that I'm on for helping with their nano health team to help bring better content. So I actually joined their administrative staff to help with that particular aspect of this channel. We help right here with mental health. And I actually go in there and assist people with meditation, with all kinds of stuff. I also have the Nano Health badge, which identifies me in the server as someone who can help others. And then they have another server coming up for their phase 2. So I'm very much involved in the community in that way. Mecha Apes is another really great community. Again, look at, they've got their various channels, as you can see, for engaging with the community. And if you look behind me, oh, I just happened to have minted that one last week as well. So just to give you an idea, it's a great community to be involved in. And once you're in the community, you may start to wonder, like what do you do? Like, so let's say I'm in the community, but I'm not whitelisted. How do I get on that whitelist? How do I do it? What do I do? Well, I'm going to tell you guys that, there are different tricks and tools, and every time Dante and I log into one of these servers, it's usually like a different rat race to get to the whitelist. And it all depends, of course, on how much effort you want to put in, what is demanded of you, how much influence you have to bring in invites, all that stuff. But I'll give you some cool tips here right now that'll help you. The first one is, as I mentioned earlier, just being in the communities, like on Twitter, and just sharing a lot of what you know gets you noticed, and people will take what you see more seriously and invite you to whitelists. That does happen. You may not want to call it influencer, but that's really what you're becoming when you go on Twitter and you start speaking about these things. You become an influencer, whether you think so or not. And that's, a hard thing to do because you got to keep that up on almost a daily basis. But sharing what you're willing to learn, sharing what you've learned and making connections, that helps you get on those whitelist spots. Giveaways, let's see, look at this one here. So for example, in Mecha Ape, they have a giveaways section. NanoPass, let's see, probably somewhere that I'm not looking right now, probably somewhere up here. There you go, giveaways, right? And they have a giveaway section of what you do to participate in that. Here's a big one from Sheldon Evans, Your Mama's House. They've got giveaways. Yeah. So you go into here and you know what? Ask Dante. remember the dinos and a couple of the other ones? Remember those? And we got whitelisted just from going on these giveaways. And
Yeah.
you get into the right, and you get on here, and it's like, oh wow, you enter, and before you know it, you're either whitelisted or you get free drops. I got 2 free drops from the same server just for participating. Like click, enter, done. It was so easy. So that's another good way, but it's very, you know, I would say it's also kind of still risky, you know, wouldn't guarantee you a spot or anything. But you know, you can also grind. Some people will say to get on the whitelist, what you need to do is just be active in the community. So you go into, you know, you go into one of these communities and you start commenting on like everything. Who has time for that? Like, it just sucks. It's hard, especially after the project has continued for a while. So that sucks. What else can you do? I actually stumbled on something a little while ago that Dante and I were in. Which server was it? Was it Immutable Apes? The Immutable Apes? I think it was, yeah, it was Immutable Apes. Yeah, it was this one, Immutable Apes X. And we were in one of their weekly updates, right? And they call it church, whatever. And they said, everyone go to the voice chat and start chatting. So we did. And man, there were some great things being said. It's like, whoa, who are you? Who are you? Like, we really got to know people. And we discovered that one of the fastest and best ways to get onto whitelist is to get to the voice chat. So here's an example right here of Hate Beast. Now, you may have heard of Hate Beast, but I mean, look at the numbers here at the top. How many people are here right now at the time of this recording? First of all, look how much I have to scroll just to get to the top. Look at inspirational, spirit, mental health, body, parents. Faces of Hate is one of their contests that they're running. Men's health, women's health, photography, career advice. This is a community, like, holy smokes. But look at this. Total members, 250,000 people in their Discord. That's crazy. How do you stand out in a community like this that has an entire channel dedicated to Christmas? Like, seriously, you know, it's the voice chat. Look at how many people are in the voice chat. One person here, about a dozen people here, right? A few people here, right? A few people here. Look at this. You could pop in here, and what does that do? It gets you noticed. Your profile picture gets seen. You will be remembered in this chat. And you know who pops in here a lot? It's the admin staff. The admin staff pop into this chat regularly because they want to get to know their community. They want to get to know you. And I've seen more people get whitelisted this way than any other way. Does that take a little time? Sure. But you know what? We call it a community for a reason. You have to all contribute in a certain way. So that, I think, is probably the biggest alpha of the whitelist side of things, getting into this. And when you're in there, guys, please have some etiquette, right? There's no need to spam, right? There's no need to, you know, talk over people. You're being noticed just by being in there. Okay, they have a push to talk function in Discord. Use that, right? Don't talk over people. Okay, you can change your server profiles as well. Like, see how some people put hate or Hate Beast after their names. Do that. That'll also help you get noticed, right? And you can do that per server. So if you go in here and you go to edit server profile right here, it'll change. Even if you don't have the paid account, I put my name and I put Hate Beast after, so they know, like, that's where I'm at, right? So that's that. But you'll get tremendous knowledge just hanging out, even if you don't get whitelisted. You know, just Dante and I hanging out in these groups, just sharing so much information. And you want to contribute because you feel almost guilty that you're just hearing all this great knowledge. You're getting aware of future drops that you should be participating in. Okay, and there are Discords that specialize in this as well. Like I said, Dante and I can help direct you to the right ones, including all the ones that have to do with Matt and Co. All right, but the key, like I said, is to be a great participant. And lastly, 2 things: organization. Real quick. Number 1, if you look at Discord, you could actually create folders here by dragging one on top of the other. I don't really use that, but for example, if you've been whitelisted on several projects, put them into a single folder. You know, or some people organize it by theme, by type, by date. Also keep a Google Doc handy, a spreadsheet that tracks maybe how much you're going to need to mint, how much money you're going to need, and being aware of future dates. Keep yourself organized in that way. I do that. I actually use my to-do list. I use Todoist as my as a way of organizing my boards. But that's another way to do that. And also, last thing I'll mention is, there's a lot of projects out there. I understand that, and it almost seems overwhelming, but here's my advice. Get whitelisted on as many as you can, and then decide later if you want to mint. Because it's much harder as time goes on when you're dealing with a server like Hatebeast, where there's 250,000 people, and you're trying to get seen. Your artwork or your memes or your communications, you want that to get seen. It's much harder later. If you get into a project early, get on that whitelist, do whatever you got to do, find out the rules, figure it out, and then decide later if you want to mint. There's no one squeezing your arm telling you that you have to mint if just because you're whitelisted. Okay, so I hope this gives some clarity to a bit of the process of how to find some projects and then what to do once you're on there. Again, surface level. I don't want to take up too much time, but there's a lot to be said. As you can see, there's a lot of information to process, and I hope that you do spend a little bit of time, an hour here, an hour there, researching NFT drops, big ones, small ones. They all will make you money if you are smart, if you get in early, and if you know when to buy and when to sell, just like real estate, actually, and just like being a knowledgeable investor. These are all like mini fundraisers. They're all trying to get your mint money to raise money for their projects. The question is, you as a discerning investor, do you believe in their vision and their process? Okay, that will already put many of them in the 99% that will not survive, okay, and are just worth flipping. So keep that in mind, and I wish you guys luck. Catch up with you next time, guys. Bye for now.